In a world where human and animal lives often intersect, this is a story that defies nature itself. Meet Tom, a man with the courage to defy the odds, and a bear in need of a miraculous rescue. What happens next will leave you speechless. I didn't know what to expect, but I knew I had to act. Tom had been hiking through the rugged terrain, enjoying the peace of nature, when he suddenly heard a faint noise. At first, he thought it was just the wind or the sound of wildlife, but then the noise grew louder, urgent, desperate. Following the sound, he soon found himself standing at the edge of a cliff, staring up at the incredible sight of a bear caught on a narrow ledge. The animal was stuck, visibly panicked, its claws scrabbling against the rock. It was clear the bear wasn't going to be able to get out on its own. Tom stood still for a moment, assessing the situation. His heart raced. He wasn't just dealing with an animal in distress. He was facing a wild bear, one that could react unpredictably. But something about the bear's struggle hit him hard. He couldn't just leave it there. "Can I do this?" he asked himself, looking up at the cliff, weighing the risks. "The odds are against me, but I have to try." Taking a deep breath, Tom carefully began to unpack his gear. He had the right tools for the job, climbing ropes, harnesses, and his own knowledge of the terrain. But none of that could guarantee a successful rescue. Still, he couldn't shake the feeling that this was something he had to do, something bigger than just a rescue. "I've dealt with tough situations before, but this is different," Tom said as he spoke into the camera, reflecting on the danger. "This is an animal's life on the line. I have to make it happen, no matter what." He took a final look at the bear, now more frantic, its eyes wide with fear. Without wasting any more time, Tom started to ascend the cliff, carefully navigating the treacherous path ahead. There was no turning back now. The bear's survival, and his own safety, depended on it. Tom takes a deep breath as he surveys the cliffside. The sheer drop below and the bear's desperate struggle above him add weight to every decision he makes. There's no time to waste. He knows the bear is getting weaker, and the longer it stays in this position, the more dangerous the situation becomes. With a swift motion, he unpacks his climbing gear. He double-checks everything: the ropes, the harness, the carabiners, all vital to ensure he can get both himself and the bear out safely. He glances back at the bear, watching it struggle, its body pressed against the cliffside, trying to inch its way up but slipping each time. Tom's heart races. The stakes are higher than ever. If he doesn't move fast, the bear might lose its footing, and it's impossible to know what will happen next. Tom secures the rope to a stable rock formation, testing its strength. He begins to ascend, taking each step with precision and caution. The camera catches the tension on his face as he climbs higher, each handhold crucial to his upward progress. He moves steadily but quickly, aware of how unpredictable the situation could become. With every step, he gets closer to the bear, but there's still a vast, dangerous gap to bridge between them. His mind races with calculations. The climb isn't easy. There are loose rocks, narrow ledges, and the constant risk of slipping. But Tom pushes forward, telling himself, "Focus, one step at a time." The sound of the bear's restless movements echoes off the cliffside, a constant reminder that time is running out. As Tom gets closer to the ledge where the bear is stuck, he hesitates for just a moment. Will the bear be frightened by his presence? Will it lash out in fear? The unknown lingers in his mind, but he shakes it off and continues the climb, fully aware that the next moments will determine everything. He's almost there, but the danger is far from over. Tom reaches the final stretch, his muscles burning from the climb. The cliffside is narrow, and the wind whips past him, making each step feel even more precarious. He's now just a few feet away from the bear, whose frantic movements have slowed, either from exhaustion or fear. Tom's heart pounds as he realizes the gravity of what he's about to do. There's no turning back now. He can see the bear's eyes clearly, wide and filled with uncertainty. Tom speaks softly, trying to calm the animal. "Easy, buddy. I'm here to help." His voice trembles slightly, but he forces himself to stay steady. The bear looks up at him, clearly assessing the situation, unsure of what to make of the man now so close. Tom slowly reaches out, taking careful measures to avoid startling it. With his heart in his throat, Tom slowly maneuvers the rope toward the bear, securing it gently around the animal's body. The bear shifts, but Tom's grip is steady. The animal's body trembles, but it doesn't lash out. Instead, it seems to understand that Tom is trying to help. Tom takes a deep breath, securing the last of the rope to his harness. With his other hand, he gently guides the bear to a more stable position, trying to get it to a spot where it can stand without fear of slipping. The bear stumbles, but Tom holds it steady, his focus solely on the task at hand. Every second feels like an eternity. Just as Tom thinks he might be able to help the bear get down safely, a sudden shift in the animal's weight causes it to lose its balance. The bear starts to slide. Panic sets in for a moment. Tom's hand instinctively tightens on the rope, and for a split second, it feels as though everything might collapse. But then, miraculously, the rope holds. Tom grits his teeth and pulls with everything he has, managing to steady both himself and the bear. The animal is still scared, but it's no longer in immediate danger of falling. Tom's pulse races as he takes another careful step forward, inching both himself and the bear toward safety. It's a delicate balance, but he's determined to make it through. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, Tom finds a secure spot on the cliffside. The bear, exhausted but no longer at risk of falling, finally calms down. Tom's breath slows, but the relief is only temporary. He knows the most dangerous part is still ahead, getting both of them down the cliff safely. As Tom stands on the narrow ledge, the bear is still by his side, its breathing heavy but steady. For a moment, neither of them moves. Tom takes a deep breath, his heart still pounding from the close call. The bear, now safe from the immediate danger of the cliff, seems to settle slightly, though it remains wary. Tom knows he can't stay in this precarious spot for long. He needs to get both of them down, but the descent won't be easy. Slowly, Tom begins to secure the bear, making sure the ropes are tight and the harness is properly adjusted. The bear doesn't resist, its eyes focused on Tom, almost as if it's trusting him. Tom looks down the cliff, calculating the safest path. His grip tightens on the rope as he takes his first step downward, the rock beneath his feet slippery and unforgiving. For a moment, there's a strange stillness. The bear stays close behind Tom, its movements cautious but not frantic. It's as though the animal has understood that Tom isn't a threat. The bond between them, fragile yet undeniable, seems to grow with every step Tom takes down the cliffside. The journey down is treacherous. Tom moves carefully, checking every foothold, guiding the bear along with him. As they descend, Tom feels the weight of the situation, a mix of relief and anxiety. Each step feels like a small victory. But there's still a part of him that worries. What if the bear gets scared again? What if it panics and runs? But the bear follows closely, its movements synchronized with Tom's. It's almost as though the bear is trusting him to lead it to safety. With each step, Tom feels a growing sense of wonder. It's an unexpected moment, one that he never could have predicted. What was once a life-or-death situation has turned into something else, an unspoken connection, a silent understanding. The bear isn't running away in fear, it's following Tom, and there's something almost sacred in the quiet cooperation between them. Finally, after what seems like hours, Tom reaches a flatter section of the cliff. They've made it. Both Tom and the bear are safe, the danger now behind them. Tom takes a moment to catch his breath, his eyes glancing at the bear. For a brief instant, their gazes meet. There's a quiet moment of understanding. It's not just a rescue, it's something deeper, something that defies explanation. The bear, now free from the perilous cliffside, takes one last look at Tom before it turns and begins to walk away. Tom watches it disappear into the forest, the adrenaline finally starting to subside. He's left standing there, his heart still racing, but his mind in awe of what just happened. Tom reflects softly, almost to himself. I'll never forget that bear. I didn't expect it to be like this. I didn't expect it to follow me. Like that. But somehow, it did. As the bear disappears into the forest, Tom stands silently for a moment, taking in the weight of what just happened. The adrenaline that had coursed through his veins only moments before starts to fade, leaving behind a deep sense of awe. The rush of the rescue, the fear, and the relief, it all feels like a distant memory now. But one thing is clear. What he experienced with that bear was something special, something that can't easily be explained. Tom looks out into the forest, where the bear has melted into the shadows. Sometimes nature has a way of showing us things we don't expect, he says quietly. I thought I was out there to rescue an animal, but in the end, it feels like I was the one who was given something. A moment of connection I'll never forget. The camera lingers on Tom for a moment as he reflects. His expression is calm but thoughtful, the weight of the experience settling in. He didn't just save a bear that day. He had a chance to witness something rare, a connection between man and nature that can't be manufactured or forced. Out there, you realize how much you're just a small part of this world, he continues. The wild doesn't need us to understand it, but sometimes when you're in the right place at the right time, it shares something with you that's beyond words. Tom takes one last glance at the forest, as though he's saying goodbye to something he'll never fully comprehend, but will always carry with him. We may never know why that bear followed me down the cliff, he says, but maybe it doesn't matter. Sometimes the greatest moments in life are the ones that leave us speechless, the ones we can't explain, and that's what makes them so unforgettable. The camera slowly pulls away from Tom, focusing on the wild landscape around him. The sounds of the forest fill the silence. The video begins to fade, but Tom's final words linger in the air. Sometimes, you don't need answers to know that something extraordinary just happened. The screen cuts to black with text overlay. If you were moved by this story, leave a comment below and subscribe for more unforgettable moments. Share this with someone who believes in the unexpected connections between man and nature. As the video ends, the viewer is left with a sense of wonder and the realization that sometimes the most profound experiences come when we least expect them.